What is good, guys? Today I just want to show you how simple you can get the daily bias in less than 10 minutes. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Okay, so you want to go on your daily time frame, okay? Daily time frame, right? And you want to see your nice 3 candles, okay? We are working with 3 candles, okay? The first candle is the first candle that took out the old liquidity on your left side. You have to look to your left to know what's going to happen, okay? So if you were to see now this push, this was on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday. So you want to know what's going to happen on Thursday, okay? So this candle and this candle and this candle will determine where we're going on Thursday. So if we were to analyze now, what happened here is this high was taken out by the third candle. The second candle came to the retracement of the fair value gap, pushed us up. This candle was a push from the second candle, which was on Tuesday. Okay, it came out and pushed us out of this high of the liquidity. Okay, so the daily bias, guys, is not very hard to see. Actually, you just need your nice 3 candle. You need your nice 3 candles. Look at your 3 candles. Look to your left. Where does the first candle come from? You need to know, where does the first candle come from? From the candle of Monday. It came from the old high of liquidity right here, okay? It came there. It took out all the position traders, people that were holding along, okay? Took them out, and then it came down. So it was just not going to come down and push all the way to liquidity here, or liquidity of this candle. No, it's going to come, look into the fair value gap. So you need to know all the time, what am I looking for to the left, okay? They did that, they pushed the upside. Now, what is left for this candle to do? Because this candle on its own, if we were to simplify that candle is a doji, right? That candle is a doji for those who still trade price action. So when you see a doji, what comes into your head? There is sellers and buyers are fighting amongst each other. So there is no strong seller, there's no strong buyers. They are both even, rather, sorry. So in this case, on our case, we understand that the doji is the candle that takes out liquidity. Okay, so you were to draw your first line right there. And the first candle that was on a Monday. And the second candle would be your low. Okay, so someone would say the market has to come up, right? Because we are on an uptrend, therefore we can just retrace on this candle, then come back up, right? But no, because if you see again, this candle, it's a what? It's a swing low, right? This doji stopped us here. We're pushing down from that old high. The doji stopped us from the fair value gap and it pushed up. The same candle that pushed us up, which is the third candle, took out this liquidity of Tuesday, this liquidity of Monday. Therefore, the only thing that we can do now, or we can have from the market, is a push to the downside. You want to simplify it? Look at the doji. If we don't see the doji, it's something else, okay? It's something else, because we would like to see the third candle. I think the trick to it is the third candle has to take out that liquidity. It's very, very easy when the third candle takes out the liquidity. So this candle took out the liquidity, therefore we want to see a nice push to the downside, taking out this low. If you're not a swing trader, you want the market to just come and take out that low. But if you're a swing trader, you would want to see the market to take out the low of a Tuesday, the low of Thursday last week. So Your daily bias would be the candle that is going to push out the liquidity for Friday and Thursday. Okay. So, because this is all that we're working with. If we didn't have nothing else to the left, and this is all you had 1, 2, 3, you need to determine where the market is going from just those 3 candles. And if you know your candles, that is why we don't trade the trend. That is why we don't care about the trend. We only look at the candlesticks. We only look at price and time. We don't care about nothing else. If the market is going up or down, it's not our problem. We just react, okay? So if you only had these 3 candles and you had a swing low, you had a doji to your right, and you had this candle, and the doji took out the candle of the previous days. Therefore, what is left to be done? We need to come to the downside. If you're wrong, it's not a problem. There's always an entry at New York session or London. Absolutely nothing wrong to be wrong in Forex, okay? So we want to see a nice push for Thursday, okay? We want to see a nice push to the downside, taking out this low and the low of Tuesday, okay? So in my bias, my daily bias for the day, for Thursday, it would be selling because this 3rd candle took out that high, okay? On Tuesday, we came to the fair value gap. Therefore, we bought, oh my God, we bought on Wednesday, took out this high, okay? And then we are expecting price to push down. So our stop loss will be right just above that high. I'm using the daily time frame, okay? So the stop loss is going to look a bit high because of the daily time frame, because we want to see the daily bias, right? So we're using the daily time frame. So let's see if the market will push us to the low side. Okay, that's great. So you see what I'm trying to say is we had a nice push to the downside because of we're coming from an old high that was here on the left. Sometimes the left would be empty, there will be nothing. But if the market reacts like this, we know that there was money that was sitting there, or orders that were there that had to be filled by the big banks, okay? So coming down to push to the downside to take the fair value gap, the 50% of the fair value gap, the market pushed back up. Now, the fact that the market pushed back up, taking out both this high and the previous high, it left what? It left a swing high. So if you were taking his mentorship, 2023 mentorship or 2022, you would know what swing high is. So on this on its own, the 3rd candle on its own, it's a confluence on its own, because the DOJI, which is now a swing high, and we're expecting for price to push up, to push down, okay? So that is the daily bias, you guys. You don't look at a lot of things. I swear to you, I promise you, like, it is not a lot that we look at, you know. We're just looking at what did the first candle do, which is what happened on Monday, what happened on a Tuesday, right? And what happened on a Wednesday. Then you would know what happened on Thursday. Now, someone will say, what if I want to know what happened on Monday? That's a different case, because on Monday, we have to go on a weekly time frame. If you want to know what's going to happen on a Monday and it's Sunday, you have to go on a weekly time frame, and you have to look at, are we sitting right now? Is price on the fair value gap, which is there, which is meaning that on Monday we'll be selling, right? Is price on an order block? Is price on order block void? Is price on imbalance? You know, so those are the things that you have to study for yourself to understand. But I always say this to people: you want to be trading on a Tuesday, it's the best time to trade. I find that out for myself, that a Tuesday, because this is what happens. Guess what happens on Tuesday? Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I love them, because we have enough data. Because the data for Sunday is what happened last week, right? So we go on a weekly, we check what's happening. But when we go on trading on a Tuesday, we already have a data for Monday, right? And then Monday, for instance, here, Monday came and pushed down. Now you have enough data because the push down was coming to your left, as I said already, and we're seeing that retracement on a Wednesday. So on a Wednesday, we'd have a nice buy. Then on a Thursday, we know, okay, we have 3 candles. Even better when you have 3 candles, and then you can see a push to the upside, taking out the previous high and this high, and then you can see a nice low. Okay, let's go to the 5-minute. Go to the 5-minute. So this is what I'm saying to you. So if that high, if this is the high of the daily, right? So when you come to 5-minute, you would wait for a retracement. As I always say, we are waiting for a retracement. Wait for a retracement or a pullback. You don't just trade because you understand that the daily had taken out the previous highs already of Monday and Tuesday. No, you have to wait, even though you had that confluence on Wednesday that you are selling on a Thursday, but you have to wait for at least, because we had that week, right, which is a swing high, and then we came up nicely. If you watch this channel, you understand that this is a Judas swing. The fact that the market came up with this high took out everyone who was a quick seller, who sold quickly. Therefore, they'll be taken out if the stop loss was very tight. So you have to wait for a retracement. If you miss the retracement, because remember, you understand that on Thursday you'll be selling. If you miss the first sell, just know that we are open on the left always. If you don't know where the market is going, look to your left. Look to your left, look for your fair value gaps on the left. There's one here. There's another one there, okay? Not every 3 candles fair value gap, okay? But those ones are the ones that I use most of the time. So for me, I always use these 3 fair value gaps that I only use, which is the first one, the second one, there's a third one that I don't really want to share on the channel. I don't think ICT shares it either. So so we have that one. This one would be the one that is recent. It would take us to the high. And then this one would be the one, if you missed the first drop, there will always, if you look to your chart, there will always be a second fair value gap that will take you to a retracement. We have to retrace. Therefore, you would be sitting somewhere there on the imbalance. Okay, on the imbalance, and you'll be looking at your cells there. So I sell when the market is pushing up. So I could be a seller while the market is still buying, because I know that it's always on my second fair value gap. Therefore, it will push somewhere and give me a retracement targeting 2%, 3%. I don't mind. Then I'll be out. So all the strategies, the fair value gap, the Judas swing, they all come together. Even when you're looking for a daily bias, they still play a very huge role, right? So let's go to daily again. Let's go to daily again. Going to the daily again, guys. So if you see here, it's the same thing. I just showed you in the 5 minutes, but that was for the entry. Fair value gap. Let me zoom in. So the fair value gap, 1, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Wednesday, we had a swing high, taking out this high and this high. Okay, so it's better when the market takes out the previous highs. Therefore, you'll know the direction. That is how we determine this push to the downside. Okay, the nice push to the downside. When you go to the 5 minute, when you go to the 5 minute, you can see that there was the swing high, right? You have that high, and then there's a nice push, retracement, push to the downside. So again, it goes back to patience. There's nothing we can do but to wait, because I know sometimes you don't want to be the seller way high, because you might get taken out because of the Judas swing, unless if you know how to use the Judas swing. right? Which is the Judas swing, remember, it's a pullback. It's a fake out. I'll know that. So you have to wait for that fake out, aggressive push to the downside, and then we can have a retracement up and then nice sell off. Okay, is that simple? Just go for it and practice. Thank you so much for your support and hope to see you again in the channel, and cheers.